Hey everybody, welcome to the Dano channel. I am Dano and I just got back from Super Nintendo World. Took the family out for a little trip to California, Hollywood, and we did the whole thing for the opening weekend of Super Nintendo World. Now you see in my hand is really the only souvenir I picked up the whole time was a Nintendo World power-up band. I am Team Yoshi. There it is. Now we had a good trip. We did have a good trip. But what I want to do in this video is kind of break it down for you, kind of what we spent and what we did with our time in the park. So we don't go to Universal Studios often. In fact, I've only been a handful of times before. We've always enjoyed it. We always had a good time. But this was, I think, my kid's second time going ever. And so we're all stoked for Nintendo. We're a big Nintendo family. In fact, me and my son brought our 3DSs. I grew up with Nintendo since 1989, I think is when I got my first NES console as a little baby. I was like 6 years old, and we got a Nintendo. And my kids have grown up with DSs, with Wii U, with Wii. My oldest son's first video game was Mario Kart Wii. You know, like his first proper console game was Mario Kart Wii. They grew up with Wii U. We're all Nintendo Switch people. Nintendo is pretty ingrained in our lives and our video game history, so having a real-life Nintendo World was a pretty special deal, so we all had to come for this trip. Now, like I said, I'm going to break down my costs, because sometimes people ask, is it worth it? Can I do it? How much time do I need? And that's what I'm going to go over in this video, is really what we spent and what we got done with our one day in the park. Alright. So, right off the bat, I gotta tell you, we got tickets discounted through T-Mobile. They have a service where you can get discount theme park tickets. Saved about $20. We paid $5.79. It would have been $5.96 for the day we went, which was Saturday, the second day of public opening. So we saved a little bit, but 4 tickets still cost us $579 right off the bat. Just to get in the door. Just to get in the gate once we're there. Now, parking at Universal is $30, so it's not cheap. It's not cheap. If you've never been to Universal before, when you get there, you park, and then you have to walk through like a little mall called City Walk. You guys know where we're at? Any guesses? We're in Universal. We're doing something different today. We're going to be going to the opening, technically second day opening of Super Nintendo World. We're not going to Buca di Beppo. I've only been there once, weird enough, but yeah, look, Jurassic parking. We just got here. I'm a little out of breath because we're like running. But we're early, it's not super busy. We got out on time, and yeah, we're gonna go see Super Mario Nintendo World. So yeah, let's do it. Now, as we're walking through City Walk, we found a Nintendo store. It's like a Super Nintendo World store, and this is actually where we ended up buying our power-up bands because we wanted to get them early. We got to the park early. Like, we got there and parked by 7 a.m. I was in line to park at the ET parking lot at 7 a.m. and it was easy. An hour early was perfect. It was seriously the right amount of time to get there early. Park opened at 8. We were parking at 7. By the time we walked through Universal City Walk, it was like 7:10. It was so simple, way more easy than it is at Disneyland, to be honest. And we went and we bought our power-up bands, and I'm going to show you mine. I'm Team Yoshi. There it is, Team Yoshi. And we bought 4 of these things, and the total for 4 of them, $175. These are $40 each. Here's my receipt, actually. I've got a receipt right here. Receipt. You can kind of see it, but it's washed out. 40, 40, 40, 175, 20. I just rounded to 175. And you need this. I don't like that you need this. This is $40, and you have to buy this if you want to enjoy all of Super Nintendo World. Can you go to Super Nintendo World without it? Yes. Can you do the Mario Kart ride without it? Yes. But it's not as cool. And in fact, all the little mini games around the land, you need one of these to activate them and get them started. So you need this. The main, like, big boss mini game that you play at the end once you've done all the mini games, there's a big, like, final Bowser Jr. battle you can unlock. You need one of these. In fact, this pamphlet that comes inside of the box for the power band kind of tells you. It starts over here with little Bowser Jr. stealing the mini golden mushroom, and it just kind of talks about it. It says you need to get 3 keys in order to unlock it. And so you go around the land, and you play these little mini games. There's 4 different places to get these keys. You need 3 of them, so you can do one game 3 times. You can do 3 different games, whatever your choice. But you play these games around the land, to unlock Bowser's Challenge. That's the whole point. This land is a game, and that's the main goal, is to do Bowser's Challenge and get back the golden mushroom. And I'll show you how the land kind of opens up and tells you that story as we go through. So, we spend our 175 bucks, we get through security, and we wait. At this point, it's about 7:30, and we've also already procured a park or a land reservation, a virtual queue Nintendo land reservation. So about 7:15, about 45 minutes before the park opened, we were able to go into the Universal app, and a friend of ours got a group of 6 for the 8:05 reservation. So get this, if you go to Universal, you've already paid your money to get the ticket, you also have to get a time slot virtual queue to enter Nintendo Land. You can't just walk in. You have to get the virtual queue reservation first in order to gain entrance to it. And that's to keep the whole park from showing up in one land at once, right? They want to stagger it out a little bit, make it a bit more enjoyable. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing they do that. It's smart. It makes it work. So, we get the first slot, 8:05. Cool, we're in. Awesome. They have us wait, because they let us in the park about 30 minutes early. And they have us wait at the Simpsons area on top by the escalators. And up here, well, they're only letting people who pay extra money for the early entry. So this is an option that wasn't available to us because it was already sold out. But it says it starts at 20 bucks. For the day we went, Saturday, it would have been $25 per person to get 1 hour early access into the park for Nintendo. We didn't do that. We would have had to have left it, 5:45 in the morning. Well, maybe a little less, but still, we would have to leave at like roughly 6 in the morning just to get there, park, walk through, get through the gates to be there at 7. So we're like, nah. It was sold out anyway. So if that's something you want to do, it's an option. It's going to cost you though, and it's only for an hour. That said, we get there. We get down to the lower lot at about 5 minutes before 8 a.m. At 7:55, they let us down the escalators. 1,000,000 escalators, by the way. And we get to go visit the lower lot to get in line for Super Nintendo World.
There it is. It's definitely small. Like, it looks from here, coming down the escalator, it looks pretty small. But it looks awesome, though. I'm so excited. Okay, here's Jurassic World. We got the little popcorn stand. Take a look. There's kind of weird that some of these drinks and popcorn stuff isn't available in the land, but it's available at a stand outside of a shop. Just weird. That's all. Just weird.
Now, our reservation's for 8:05, but they let us in at 8 o'clock, and so we line up, and we go through our first entry into Nintendo World.
All right, guys. Super Nintendo World. We're right outside the entrance queue. This is our little cozy entrance. There's Transformers, and there's the warp pipe. All right, here's our group.
And your 6 are all here?
6 are all here.
1, 2, 3.
This is it. Look at the ground. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Super Nintendo, where everyone's taking their pictures. There's warp pipes. The music's going. This is awesome. Let's do it. Oh my God, it's so loud. And here we go. I love it. We're in it. We're doing the warp pipe thing. Ah! It's real. It's real. Oh my goodness. Take a look at the photos on the wall. Oh, look at that photo on the wall. And it even kind of like, look at that. Oh, that's so awesome. Looky what I got. What did Baby Bowser get? Oh, look at that. Even the thing up top, if you want to look up into it, just like on Super Mario 64. And here we go. We're in. Of course, they got the music going. We got people lined up to meet characters. We got the games going on already. Let's head to, I think, Mario Kart right off the bat, right? Oh, this is awesome. 360. The only thing is that crane. The crane kills me a little bit. But other than that, this is really awesome looking. Like, they got all the games going. Wow. It is small. It does feel small in here. But it's really cool. Like, just looking at all of this. Oh, Mario and Luigi are going to be out at 8. Right now, technically. They should be coming out very soon. It's so awesome.
Now, we had already talked it over and pre-planned that we were going to be doing the Mario Kart ride first. First thing, we're like, as soon as we get in, we're doing the Mario Kart ride. We're going to do the full queue because it's probably going to be the lowest wait time first thing in the morning. So we do the full queue so we can see it all. And man, let me tell you, this queue was amazing. It's such a good queue. It's so well done. You start off with Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. There's just so many Easter eggs from all kinds of Nintendo. And if you're going, I highly recommend you do that full queue first. If you've never been on the Mario Kart ride / game, because it is a game, if you've never been on that game, you need to do the full queue first because it teaches you how to play. In fact, take a look at this little segment of the walkthrough on how to play this game properly. Now, even though I recorded that and I sat there watching it, I still didn't know how to play the first time. I got my headset on, I did the thing, and I put it on. It wasn't fitting properly. Because I had to take my hat off. I wear a hat, and I took my hat off, and it was still kind of, I have a funky shaped head, I guess. And the little visor part, before I even put the goggles on, the visor part kept like drooping low.
Okay, it kind of fits a little weird, right? A little strange, but yeah, we'll see how this works.
So by the time I get seated in the vehicle and I get my thing and I clip it in, it's there, and the little AR glasses in front of me are on. It starts to droop down on my face, and it's very uncomfortable, and I had to like hold it, and I had to steer and play the game.
It's so weird because through this, I can see all the characters and everything up there, but I can't see them otherwise. So they're up there, they're saying hi, but then you remove it and they're gone.
And I couldn't record any of it because of that. So you won't see on-ride video footage from me in this video. But I do want to tell you how the game works. So as you saw in that instructional video, they tell you how to clip it in properly, that you're supposed to look to aim. So that's a big part of this game, is you're looking around to aim to shoot and hit the Koopa Kids and Bowser. You're not supposed to hit Team Mario, so don't hit Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Toad, Peach, any of those good people you're not supposed to hit. But if they're bad guys, definitely shoot your shells at them. And so this game / ride, it's a dark ride. It's a slow moving dark ride, but it feels fast. It's fast paced. It's high energy, even though the movement is physically slow. It's not a fast thrill ride by any means. So if you're worried about thrill rides or anything crazy like that, it is not. It really isn't. There's fans which make you feel like there's a lot of motion going on. And the AR glasses that you're wearing have little projections of all the characters and stuff. So you look around and you see characters whizzing everywhere. You're shooting shells. Everyone in your car is shooting shells. And it's a lot of fun. And it is, again, high energy, fast paced. But the actual ride itself is slow. It's not very thrilling, but it is a lot of fun. So after we get out of our first ride on Mario Kart, all my friends check their app. Now, this is the Universal app. The nice part about Universal is when it comes to this and this game of Nintendo Land, you don't need a separate app like you do with Disney. Disneyland and Disney World have their own apps. I get it. But they also have a Play Disney app, which is something separate. And let's say for Galaxy's Edge, you want to do the Batu Bounty Hunter. Their little game they've got. You need to pay $50 for a band. Very similar, right? And you need to use this to, you have to charge this thing. So this is battery powered. This is not. This doesn't need batteries. This does. And you have to charge the thing, and you have to go through the Play app, and you have to, go through 8 different swipes and find where exactly the Batu Bounty Hunter thing is. It's like one game of many games in this one other app. Universal keeps it so simple. All you do is you click on the little Nintendo World thing, and it brings up their section of the app for Nintendo World that keeps track of all your coins, your stamps, which are like achievements, and your game progress for the day. Which is it's really simple, it's really intuitive, and pairing a band is super easy. You literally there's a little QR code on the back here, maybe you can see it. You literally just scan this QR code, on there, and it just adds it right into your app, no problem. And that's it. And then from there, anytime this band does anything, it registers to the servers, and then you can see it happen. And so mine wasn't working. We get out of the ride, and I didn't realize, oh shoot, I forgot to boop the wheel. So mine wasn't working. And we're hanging out, all the rest of my family and friends, they're there, and they all got coins. I didn't get any coins. So we go over to the power blocks and the little yellow power-up box, and we start punching them. All my friends start getting coins. They would punch 5 times, they would get 5 coins. I would punch 5 times, I'd get 1 coin. And I was like, what's going on? Is mine just slow? What's happening? They're in here like 500-600 coins. I'm like, I got like 10. What's up? And so I ran into technical difficulties with mine right off the bat. It just was not registering my stuff. And it kind of made the morning a little rough. Like, I was like, I was kind of bummed, honestly. I was like, this is a cool land. It's beautiful. But I was kind of bummed. So that said, we got a reservation right afterwards for Toad's Cafe because I knew, hey, there's going to be a long wait. Let's go check in. They give you a little piece of paper that says, come back at this time, and we'll let you in. And it wasn't until 10:30. At this point, it's, we've come in and we did the one ride. It took about 25 minutes to do the queue. And it's like 8:30, 8:35 at this point. And we're like, oh, shoot, we can't come back till 10:30. We got like 2 hours to kill. What are we going to do? Because we left so early in the morning, we didn't get breakfast. And now we're in the park. You can't leave Nintendo World unless you don't want to come back. And so we went and we looked and we're like, well, we can get a re-entry. We did another virtual queue, a re-entry to come back at 1 o'clock. And we're like, well, we can leave now and go get something to eat or wait until 10:30 to eat breakfast. Like we were like kind of stuck. And that's one of the gripes I have is that you can't really leave the land and come back in, even if you have a reservation. And so that sucks. It sucks. It just does. It sucks. So I don't like that. Plan ahead. If you're going to go that early in the morning, which you should, eat something before you go. That way you don't get stuck like we did, waiting for Toad's Cafe to open to really have lunch for breakfast. Because they don't have breakfast items. They don't sell breakfast in that cafe. They only sell lunch. So we're like, all right, we're stuck. Nothing we can do. We're stuck, so we got to do it. And so we're like, we got 2 hours to kill. What are we going to do? Let's play all the mini games. Now, there are 4 different mini games in the land. Let me go over them real quick. We've got Koopa Troopa Power Punch. Now, this is one where there's a tube going like left to right and a little shell that bounces back and forth, and you have to hit a POW brick that triggers another POW brick that triggers another POW brick, and if you time it right, the shell will go up the T-shaped pipe, and you'll get your coin. You'll get your key. And so that one was kind of fun, had a long line. We didn't do it right off the bat. We did find Thwomp's Panel Panic, which is a cool, like, big screen panel with all these little touch blocks you have to do, and you have to get them all the same color, yellow or blue. Doesn't matter which color, but you have to have all the same color. And the first time me and my wife did it, we said, oh, we're going to do blue, or whatever color, and she ended up doing a completely different color than I did, and we're like, no, we need the same one. And so we finally got it right. And we got it. We got our key for doing that. You boop in, you start the game, you play it, you win, you boop out, and you get your key, and it shows up in your app. Now you need 3 keys to do the Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown, which is the main boss minigame. In fact, remember I mentioned that golden mushroom that he has? When you first walk in the land, if you notice in that earlier clip, it says, look what I got, like, looky what I got, something like that. And there's a little golden mushroom on the door right when you're entering the land. And so the goal is to get that golden mushroom back from Bowser Jr. You need your 3 keys to get it. And there's 2 more games that you can try to get keys with. Goomba Crazy Crank, which is a really simple game. You just crank this thing, and the Goomba comes out, and you crank it until he can't keep up, and then he falls back down. You get a couple coins for it, you crank it, boom. Very simple game. Again, the line was probably about 20 minutes for that. And the fourth one, Piranha Plant Nap Mishap. This one is a series of alarm clocks that go off that are going to wake up the piranha plant. A giant, huge, really cool looking animatronic piranha plant. But they go off and you have to keep tapping them. There's 12 alarm clocks. And we did it as a team of 4 at the end of the night. I don't have any footage of it. But we did it as a team of 4, so we each just had 3 alarm clocks to look at. We all stayed in one spot. So look, those are your 3, those are your 3, those are your 3, those are your 3. Stay in one spot and make sure they're all good. We killed the game, no problem, as a team of 4. And it was fun. We got our keys, no problem. Now, all 4 of these games you can play over and over, and once you've won, the difficulty gets harder. In fact, in the app, those stamp achievements tells you there's certain ones like beat it on the hardest difficulty, beat it 5 times. So there's these different achievements you can get, and I highly recommend looking through the app at all the stamps you haven't unlocked yet to look at as goals of what you should want to do when you're playing those games. Just keep that in mind. It's a pro tip. Scour through all the different stamps first. That way you make sure you hit the goals you want. So after we did a little bit of waiting, we played 1 or 2 of the games, it was time to go eat at Toad's. So finally we get to have our Nintendo food, our fancy lunch.
Look at this. Here we are going inside of Toad's Cafe. See the big boxes up top. A little bit of a line to get in. And of course, that menu of all the delicious looking foods.
We waited. Like 10:30 is when we got in line. And it wasn't until 11 by the time we hit the register to order food. We waited in line 30 minutes from when we were told to come back. It took 30 minutes to go from the entrance of Toad's house through the queue and actually pay for food. And when we paid for food, it cost us a total of $153. The 4 of us got a bunch of stuff. We wanted to try a lot of things. My wife does not eat meat. She'll eat fish and stuff, but not meat. So she kind of had her own stuff too. And me and my 2 boys, we're the meat eaters of the family, so we shared 3 different entrees. So we got the Mario mushroom burger. We got the Luigi chicken sandwich burger thing too. We got the spaghetti and meatballs. And those were our 3 entrees. The kids both wanted the boba. It's like a boba drink. Some kind of squash fruit. There's little jellies in it. There's squash. There's boba, Sprite, some syrup. $8 a pop. Delicious, but expensive at $8 a pop. They each wanted one of those. We got, my wife, she got the mushroom soup, which is like $10. She got the Yoshi fruit salad. So it's like a salad, but also has fruit in it. And we also got the kids meal of the spaghetti because it did not have meatballs. It was just spaghetti, a cookie coin. I think that's about it. And like the little crispy crackers, the little cheesy crisps that are on there. And so she was able to eat that spaghetti. That way she could have some spaghetti, some soup, some salad, something kind of substantial. Because if you don't eat meat, those are kind of your only options. They also have a tomato soup, but she was like, well, I want to get one of the soups. But just so you know, really it's just, if you don't eat meat, it's just salads, soups. That's it. There's no substituting an Impossible Patty on the Mario burger or anything like that. It's not an option. So, and no Impossible Meatballs or anything like that. That's one thing I will say Disneyland has on that, like Galaxy's Edge has Impossible meat and like good protein substitutes for those who don't eat meat. And so on that front, I would give Disney the edge. In this case, for Mario World, there was a lot of cool mushroomy things. And that's another thing I want to bring up. Almost everything on the menu had mushrooms in it. The spaghetti had mushrooms. Mario's burger had mushrooms in it. Mushroom soup. If you don't like mushrooms, and I know a lot of people don't like mushrooms, like, no, it's kind of a pungent like taste. It's a very savory, specific taste. If you're not into mushrooms, you may not like eating at Toad's Cafe. I like it. Like our family, we eat mushrooms. We enjoy them. My youngest, not so much, but the rest of us do. And he'll eat some stuff with mushrooms, but the rest of us are cool with them. And so we all enjoyed the food for the most part. But I want to give you the breakdown. Spaghetti and meatballs. Spaghetti was fine. The spaghetti itself. The meatballs had a little spice and kick to them and were good. We really did like the meatballs. Paying for spaghetti at a theme park is rough because it's one of the cheapest foods to make. And paying $13 for spaghetti is kind of silly to me. So it is what it is. We wanted to try it. And we enjoyed the meatballs. Luigi's chicken sandwich. It's like a pesto chicken sandwich with green bell pepper on it. The 3 of us tasted it and we were all like, this is fine. It's not a $13 sandwich, burger, whatever. It was fine. It was kind of plain tasting, honestly. And we were all like, yeah, that's whatever. Shouldn't have gotten that. The Mario bacon mushroom burger was delicious. That was a hit with all 3 of us. The bacon was the best consistency. Perfectly crisp. Oh, it was so good. It was not overcooked. The meat was really good. The mushrooms, like everything about that burger was perfect. We loved it. The fries that came with both sandwiches were really good. They're like a garlic. There's like some parsley on there. Delicious fries. Again, spaghetti was whatever. Meatballs were good. Luigi sandwich was whatever. I didn't get a lot of input from my wife on how all the food was. I tried her soup. The mushroom soup was it's like a creamy mushroom soup. Not so cream of mushroom, more diced up mushrooms. Like it seemed like blended pureed mushroom, and it was like in a cream sauce kind of. Heavy mushroom flavor. At first I was like, whoa, that's intense. And then second little sip, I was like, okay, this is better. And so it kind of grew on me, but it is a very intense mushroom flavor. Very intense. I didn't try her salad. She seemed to like it okay. And she ate a little bit of the spaghetti. It was fine. For desserts, we also got the mountain beanpole cake, which was delicious. It was really good. It was a really, really good cake. And it comes with a little Mario flag that sits on top. It was cute. It was fun. And $10 a pop for that. So overall, total $153. The coolest part about Toad's Cafe, though, is while you're sitting in there, about every 15 minutes or so, a storm happens, and Bowser's airship flies through on the screens. And there's screens on all around, like 360 in the room, on every corner, or in every wall, I guess. There's screens of little Toads. One wall is the kitchen, one wall is like the outside, and this Bowser airship comes flying through in the windows, and you can track it flying through different windows around the whole room. And it's firing off bullet bills, and the bullet bills will actually like fly into the kitchen, so you can see it fly. And then you look behind you, and in the kitchen area on the windows, there's little Toads running away from bullet bills, and it's the cutest thing ever. So overall, we all enjoyed the Toad food, but it was pricey for what it was, and not all the items were a complete hit for us. So just keep that in mind. Tastes will vary. So after lunch, we went and did the tram. We went and did the studio tram just because that's why you go to Universal Studios, is to do the studio tram and see all the filming sets and all that. And I didn't record any of it. We just hung out, enjoyed ourselves, grabbed a beer, which I'm not including in my price here because I'm like, not everybody's going to want to grab a beer or whatever, but me and the wife each got a drink. But yeah, we went and did the studio tour. We went and rode Harry Potter. We did some other stuff before we went back into the land at 1 o'clock. And we came back, and at this point, my kids didn't want to come back. They're like, no, we were just in the land like an hour ago. We're going to go do other stuff around the park. So they split up. My kids, they're teenagers. Go, do your thing. You don't need to hang out with the adults. And so me, my wife, one of my longtime friends, and his wife, we were all just kind of hanging out. We're like, no, let's go back to the park. And we just single rider rode Mario Kart over and over and over and over. We rode it 4 times. And most of the times was just a walk-on. The longest we waited was 10 minutes. And it was the last time we did it, and I decided to record it, and it was about 10 minutes from the time we entered the queue to the time we got on the ride. It was amazing. And if you take the single rider queue, you get really good views of the whole land from up top. But be warned, this entire land needs a lot of, you need to walk up a lot of stairs. If you have bad knees, and one of mine's starting to go, you'll feel it by the end of the day. You end up walking up a ton of stairs. So just be warned, if you have accessibility needs or stuff like that, it's not super accessible. There are a lot of stairs. They might have elevators, but I couldn't tell you where they are. I did not see them. So maybe look into that a little bit more yourself. I didn't see them. I didn't need to use them. That said, a lot of stairs, but beautiful views in the single rider queue, and I highly recommend you do that. All right, so this gets us to the rest of the day. At this point, we've kind of done it all. After we do Mario Kart a few times, we get our last couple keys because we didn't wait around and do all the games, but we get a couple more keys. We play those mini games, and we do Bowser Jr.'s Shadow Showdown. Now, this, I think, to me, is the main event of this park. Again, the only way to access it is by paying $40. I'm a little sad about that. I'm a little sad that the only way you can experience one of the coolest, most fun interactive games is by paying $40 to do so. Don't love it, but it is what it is. I paid the ticket. I get to take the ride. So, this is a really cool thing. You have to spend those 3 keys. You put this up to the little lock on the way in, and there's a cast member there saying, no, you got to do this. We got to see that you did the 3 keys in order to get in. And you get in, and you go through Bowser Jr.'s dungeon. And again, there's stairs here too. But when you get to the top of the stairs and you go through the dungeon, do all the stuff, see the little Easter eggs, they put you on numbers, 1 through 12, I believe. So about 12 people per show. And in this, they tell you, okay, you're going to be swinging your arms and swatting away bombs and shooting fireballs using your shadow. So there's some kind of projection all around you. and it uses your shadow and it tracks your movement of what you're doing. It's really cool. It's so much fun. But because you're doing this with your arms so much, and these don't stay on very well, they really come off quite easily. They tell you to take it off before you go in. They say, take off your band. It's going to go flying off because you're going to be moving your arms so much, so we don't want to go flying. Take it off before you go in. And so the first time I did, put it in my pocket, played the game, it was fun. We came back later at 9 p.m. because we got a third entrance into the land. We snagged one. And so we came in later, and we're with the goal of let's do Shadow Showdown one more time. Let's go around, get a bunch of keys, and do it real quick before the night's over. 9 o'clock is when we came back. It was like 8:40. We've got about an hour and 20 minutes before the park closes. Let's make that our goal to do 3 keys, do Shadow Showdown one more time before the night's over. And so we did. And this time, I decided to take when they told us to take your band off, I was like, cool. Threw it in my backpack. They have cubbies. One for each number. So there's like 12 spots, I think. One for each number. There's a cubby. You put your stuff in the cubby before you go up there. Put my band in the bag. Put the bag in the cubby. Played. Best score. 53. Well, actually, 52. My son had a 53 coins. That's an amazing score. Perfect game, pretty much. We were right in the center, so we were able to just like really, really hit. Bowser Jr. took no damage. We killed it. It didn't register my game because the band wasn't in my pocket. It was in the bag over by the cubbies. So if you're playing that game and you take off your band, don't leave it in a bag back by the cubbies. Keep it in your pocket so it registers. We didn't realize that until yesterday. Me and my wife were talking about why hers never registered. None of her Bowser Jr. Shadow Challenges registered to her band because she put them in her purse and left it in the cubbies. First time it worked for me and my friends because we put them in our pockets. My wife was the only one who put it in her purse and left it in the cubby. Second time we did it, she put it in the purse in the cubby, I put it in my bag in the cubby. Everyone else's pockets. Me and her, our games didn't register. Everyone else's did. So, pro tip, make sure, and that's, I guess, kind of on us, but also the cast members didn't specify. So, I don't know. But we learned the hard way. If you want to make sure your shadow game tracks and gets counted, keep it in your pocket. So, all that said, we had a really, really packed day. We entered Super Nintendo World 3 times. We did the tram tour twice. We did the Harry Potter ride once. We did Flight of the Hippogriff, little kiddie coaster once. We did the Simpsons ride. We did Transformers. We opened the park and we closed the park. We got the most for our money. Included in that, we ate dinner. We spent $76 on dinner for the 4 of us. And kind of really for the 3 of us. One of my kids wasn't super hungry. He went and got something else. But dinner was about $76. And we got that at like some Mexican spot. Got tacos and stuff. So this is what we spent on our full day. Total of $1,013, and that's not including everything. That's not including the beers we had. That's not including an ice cream one of my kids bought on his own. None of us really got souvenirs except for these bands that I bought for us. And that's it. We spent about $1,000. And again, that doesn't include hotel. That doesn't include gas to get there, because those are weird variables that are going to differ so much. Just getting to the park and spending your whole day there for a family of 4 to play the game of Super Nintendo World, that's what you're looking at. Just over $1,000. Not cheap, but for me and my family, did we have a good time? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Was it worth it? Yeah, for us, I think it was worth it. It's going to be different to everybody depending on your budget, where you're coming from, what kind of things you value, how you value your entertainment. So I can't ever tell people, was it worth it for them? But I can only say for our family, $250 a person, a little over $250 a person. We had a pretty good day. We had a really good day. We saw a lot of cool things. And we had a ton of fun. So we really enjoyed it. And we're actually looking forward on going back. We don't know when quite yet, but we will be going back to Universal Studios Hollywood because we consistently have a good time there. So guys, that's my video on Super Nintendo World. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, hit the thumbs up, please. It helps a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, don't be a moof milker. Be the spark. And channel members, pay attention to the community feed because I'm going to be dropping all of that vlog footage just for you guys because you're channel members.